Ladies and giblets, how are we doing? Well, today we have, and I bought this about a year ago, and I've not even looked at it because it had some replacement pickups in, and that involved me doing something, so it's laid in the storage area for some time. And introducing to you one of those budget Gibsons. Now, do you remember that? Well, you probably won't, but I had an S series, and this comes from the same family. I learned how to use the have a closer look button. There we go. And so it's one of these little cheapo. I'm saying cheap. I mean, there's nothing from Gibson that's that cheap ever. And the guy bought it off. Lovely guy. He was an engineer of some sort. And he had made some modifications to the guitar, which, although I'm sure they're very good, it means that it's not original, doesn't it, you see? So, let's have a look and see what we've got. Nice and clean. You should have seen his house, it was spectacular. Nice and clean, it's been well cared for. The action looks fine, looks okay, looks acceptable, I'd say. But I've not even plugged it in. Perhaps I should do that and have a listen to it. No, it doesn't make any difference. I want the Gibson pickups in. So, in here, we should have, amongst other stuff, yeah. So we've got here the original Gibson USA pickups. Now, yeah, so we can tell from that little end on there that they should be those Quick Connect jobs. So hopefully, no soldering required. Not that that's a real problem, it's just less fuss. So, let's take it apart and see what happens. So in addition to the Gibson USA pickups, he also changed the bridge for a reason that isn't obvious to me. So we've now got one of these compensated bridges on. It's a Wilkinson, as we can see. We're going to take that off, and we're going to put the original S-type. I don't know who these are made by, but anyway, the original S-type with the individually intonatable saddles. Because for my money, a compensating bridge is all very well and good, but I'd rather have adjustable saddles. Plus, also, it's the original thing, so we'll have that in as well. That's the strings off, which is the boring bit. You all know about taking strings off. Now, let's have a look at taking the bridge off. Okay, that doesn't want to move. Perhaps. Oh yeah. If you're using these screws, if you don't have a fat enough screwdriver, a penny is a small coin of whatever realm you happen to be in is usually an ideal fit. I often wonder if the screw slots on this kind of thing are designed actually to take a coin, because you might not always have the tool, but you'll probably almost certainly have a coin. So that's that off. And the next thing to try and remove is these plugs, which might be slightly trickier than I initially thought. Right, let's see. Alright, so there is an accepted way to remove your. I just made sure it worked with the first one before I put it on camera, and that is by using a small screw and either a screwdriver that fits or your penny coin will do absolutely fine. So this one I have not yet attempted. So you remove your post screw, you drop an appropriately sized, I'm just using a regular little self-tapper here, and of course the head of it is a nice size to fit on the bottom of there. So screw that in, and then just start tightening it up, and that should gently lift it out without, I wish I'd shown you the bloody first one now, because that works absolutely perfectly. Oh. Let's see. She's tight. What do we put it in with? Probably one of these engineers' industrial tools, I suspect. Of course, the danger could be that the screw head is burying itself deeper in there, which would be an unwelcome outcome. Right, pause. So, my concern is that this guitar is quite thin. Full fat Les Paul comes in at about 48mm thickness, whereas this 33 or thereabouts. So I don't want to run the risk of doing that screw idea and poking the screw through the wood, because that would be horrible. But obviously I want to keep the thing as mint as possible. So what can we try next? Well, there's the pull method. I've got a few odds and sods here that I'm going to use. So I've got a couple of bits of, well, I've just cut a bit of this off, this yoga mat thing. So I'm going to do a bit of a sandwich here. That, we've got a plastic or rubber washer and a steel washer. That's that way it sits in there. Okay, so that's all nice. I'm going to put, shall I put one on top? I'll put one on top. Can it? And so I'm going to use a socket, this here, and that end, is it a 1/4 inch drive? Yeah, the big one, 1/4 inch drive, and that is big enough for the post to come up inside. I don't need to use a washer on the top, because of course that bonnet head fits in there very readily. So I'm just going to, if it's long enough, yeah, that's coming okay. So I've got plenty of material on there so that we don't hurt the paintwork. And at least if we do, it will be kept to an absolute minimum, and any marks that it may or may not leave, hopefully will be covered up by the bridge. So, yeah, I'll need a spanner now, don't I? What have we done with spanners? Where are they? They should be where I keep my spanners. So it'll be 1/2 inch, won't it? What's that? Looks like it. So I'm going to turn slowly. That isn't it. I could see the problem with this one. When he'd hammered it in about 1/8 of an inch below the surface of the body, which would explain why it wouldn't come out using the screw method. That feels like it's getting easy. Things are turning. Let's have a look, see if any progress has been made. We have liftoff. Certainly, that's terrific. I'm jolly happy with that. So now that I know that it's going to come out easily, can you see? Can you see what's happened here? That has now come out and, well, as far as I can see, not a mark. That's lovely. So I'm just going to use this little plastic and then the steel washer just to draw out the final ½ inch of it, or whatever it is. But that should come out pretty easy, since it's halfway out already. I'm still doing it gently, because that's my way. Taking your time can sometimes be quicker than trying to rush something. So, there we go, it's out and damage free. Now it's just a case of bashing the, I've left my little hammer in the garage. Bashing the new ones in, and so what I tend to do with these is I slot them into place and I start bashing them with obviously everything stuck out. I mean, you can use a regular hammer, but you know, use a rubber one and try not to damage anything. Right, I'm going to go and get my rubber hammer. So obviously for this, you will not want your well, you know, my version of a neck stand, but you do want the guitar absolutely laying totally flush on the surface that you're using, and I'm afraid that there's no way around it. And then, I mean, I can see that that's nice and square, so we'll probably get a screw bolt in there. I don't know if this will fit as it goes, but it should do. I'll get a bolt in there, as far down as it feels comfortable going. Horrible, isn't it? Just make sure. Yeah, that's alright. Obviously, if you've got some kind of press, much better. God knows how we got that out. Nearly there. That's it. Now it's a case of rinse and repeat. So I won't put you through the torture of watching me belting another one in, so I'll come back to you in a moment. The other one, I have to say, went in significantly easier, and so there we go, normality has been restored back to original. It's time to whiz that scratch plate off and see if we can easily disconnect and reconnect the disconnect the replacement pickups and put some. I think there might be tone pros that'll be interesting to see. So what I started doing, was I'd started undoing the scratch plate. I'd taken one screw out here, and I thought, well, hang on, I might not need to. It might just be a case of removing the pickups. It depends. Because I don't know, to be honest, where the connect little plugs are. Because I don't think I've done it before. Oh, I must have done it at some point. But anyway, if I did, I can't remember. So the screws go in a particular way, and I always like to keep them in the same orientation, even if they're the same size. It's because there's no harm, no pain there, is there? I wonder what we've got in here. What will our survey reveal? We have got, I don't know if you can see this. Can you see this? It says Rock Song B. Tone Rider. There you go. Yes. Tone Rider, Rock Song B. Right. So yeah, scratch plate's coming off. Okie dokie. Let's do that. You know what scratch plate comes off? It's just loads of screws. It's done. Hang on. Right. So that's everything undone. So let's see what's inside. See if it looks. Oh, hello. Well, that looks fairly straightforward. That's going to be. Oh, I see. Right, okay. Because they're not split. Oh, okay. So, well, it looks as though it's really, literally as simple as unplugging these. I don't know if there's a particular method of doing them, or like I say, memory. Okay. So, that's quite ugly looking, isn't it? And this fella's supposed to be. So let's have the bridge line. It should tell us on here. Yeah. Ooh, do you know, getting this all put back together, it'll be like having a warm bowl of soup. So, there's all of our gubbins. So we've got this. So you can see it's Gibson USA, of course, and then the stickers conveniently on upside down, which says lead. So I assume that is the bridge, and that says rhythm, so that will be the neck. And that is just going to get plugged in there. It's the right way around. I suppose it'll only let me put it back in one way, right? There should be a little keyway. Oh, wait a minute. No, it's got to go that way. There we go. Nice and easy. And yes, Tone Rider R90N. So obviously N for neck. And then we'll look about getting the shrouds off and putting the other stuff back on. So the Quick Connect. Well, my word, does what it says on the tin, doesn't it? So we will get that plugged back in, and then it's just a case of faffing about and putting the shrouds back on, and that will be job done. So excuse me. So I'll let you have a look when I've finished and nailed it all back together, and then hopefully we'll give it a review at the weekend. See what we think. Well, I thought, seeing as we're in here, let's have a look inside. So we've got something written on here in finest biro. Looks like. Get my spectacles on. Yeah, well, so, you know, quality components there, and here's your, and you can see the tenon there, so clearly a maple neck, and you can see the tight bond residue around here, and you know, it's a guitar, and it's been well made. Very nice. So let's get that lot back together, and I'll see you in a moment. So that's it, we're all re-Gibsoned now. We've got all the original hardware back on there, and quite enjoyed doing that, if I'm honest with you. So the moral to my story today really is that if you are going to, well, what was it people call it? Mod. Some people call it mod. I call it destroy an expensive guitar, because even though these were very, very much at the budget end of the range, there's no such thing as a cheap Gibson. And so make sure that you keep all of the bits if you are going to swap anything out. I mean, the guy that I bought it off was, I mean, you could just tell by looking at his house what kind of chap he was, and he's made such a good job of doing this, and also made it very, very easy for me to return everything to its original state. So we'll have it. Obviously, I'll give it a bit of a clean. I'll condition the neck and restring it, give it a setup, and we'll have a look at this at the weekend. I'm quite looking forward to it, I have to say. So, yes, if you are going to, I mean, unless you're going to turn it from one thing into something else completely, always remember, people do like originality, and it pains me when I say these adverts, the adverts that stay on those places for years and years and years, when it says, you know, upgrades. Are they really? Sure, if you've taken a 50 quid Encore or Westfield or something like that, not that there's anything wrong with either of those makes at all, especially Westfield, they're brilliant. Then yes, that makes more sense. But something that's, I mean, they'll have been 800 quid, won't they? 700 quid, 800 quid? So, thank you all ever so much for tuning in, and I shall look forward to putting this chap through its paces at the weekend. Have a lovely rest of the week, folks. Take care. Adios, amigos. Ta-ra. Hang on. So, here's me being Mr. Clever Trousers, saying I don't understand why anybody would possibly want to change the original bridge for a compensated thing. Yeah, well, now I know. And we don't need to get any kind of ruler or measuring device out to see what's going on here. That is perfect for playing slide guitar. So, what do we do? Well, I don't want the Wilkinson one back on, that's for sure. Perhaps I can swap it for, you know, a Gibson wrap over, or perhaps something different. Maybe cut the saddles down. Can we cut the saddles down? Is there an option? Let me see if I can get you a little bit more light here. Can we cut the saddles? Do we think? maybe use different saddles, smaller ones or plastic ones that are easy to file out, but whatever way, that's got to come down significantly. So answered on a postcard to the usual address, thank you. So that will require a little thinkage. Oh, for crying out loud. Do you know what? There. Yes, so it looks like this weekend's weapon of choice will be the Les Paul of 50s Tribute. Very, very nice instrument it is too. Although, I'd say it wants strings and a bit of a setup. So, I'll get on with that. You enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll see you on Saturday. Adios, amigos. Ta-ra.